How long you been in law enforcement?
Almost 35 years altogether.
And you started out, was $1 a year? Or?
It was $1 a year at Marshallville, September 1977. Started out as a volunteer, but they paid you $1 a year so you could be considered an employee. And then from that went to actually being hired by Marshallville full-time. Marshallville was my first full-time job. From Marshallville then as a patrolman, went to Doylestown Police Department. And worked there as a patrolman. And actually started at the Sheriff's Office in December 1978.
Now have you worked continuously or?
At the Sheriff's Office all the time until 1989 when I went to work with Medway. And still commissioned through the Sheriff's Office, but worked with Medway from 89 to 98. I came back to the Sheriff's Office.
And so now you decided you're going to retire?
I did.
What prompted that?
I just decided that it's time, 34 plus years full-time service. It's time to look for another adventure out there. No definite plans. Everybody's trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but just decided I wanted to spend the summer and kind of spend some time with my family and enjoy myself. It's been a lot of years that haven't had the time to do that, so I'm looking forward to that.
How has the office changed since you started?
If somebody would have told me from 1978 when I started that we'd have computers in the cars, I'd have laughed at them.
Are there any cases, any calls, any investigations that kind of stand out in your 34 plus year history?
Yeah, probably when I was at Medway. I was one of the main case agents on a wiretap case with the Laverne Jackson. It was a joint investigation with the FBI and Medway and several law enforcement agencies.
What was that case?
It was a drug trafficking case, and we actually went up on a wiretap on 2 different phone lines. Being able to work with the FBI and other law enforcement agencies, and I think we ended up arresting 68 defendants out of the case. So that was a memorable one.
Do you know what year that was?
It would have been probably 96, 97, right around that time, 97 probably. Maybe into 97. Some homicide cases that that I remember working, and the greatest thing on that was being able to go back to the family and saying, hey, we caught the bad guy, helping give them some closure. And then there was a case I did many years ago that I actually used as an example when I teach child abuse investigations, where I had a young girl who was a victim and worked with her and through the court process. And about 3-4 years ago, this lady came up to me down at the fair and asked me if my name was Charlie, and I said yeah. Wanted to know how long I'd worked there, and I told her. And she said, "You don't remember me, do you?" And I said, "No, I'm sorry, I meet a lot of folks I don't." And she started telling me a little bit about her. I knew right away who she was, and she just said what an impact I'd had, just working with her through that trauma of her life. And that was probably one of the most memorable moments as far as feeling like I've helped somebody.
What's it like, what's kind of going through your mind as you're getting ready to wrap this thing up?
I guess I've never felt like this was a job to me. I always felt very strongly that this was a career. Never had a day where I said, oh, I don't want to go to work, or I hate my job. I've never had that, moment, I guess, in my career.
What do you think you'll miss the most?
Being the problem solver, I guess. And talking to people when I sort of let people know that I was going to retire. What I consider a compliment, a lot of people said, well, gee, who am I going to call if I have a problem, or who's going to take care of that, who's going to fix that?
So what'd you think when Charlie told you he was going to retire early?
Mixed emotions. We've been together for 3 decades, working side by side and helping one another. And personally, I want the very best for him. He's been an outstanding steward for this county and for this office for many years. And the true worth of someone is not felt until they're left.
When you became, about, I guess, a year after you became sheriff, you asked Charlie to be your law enforcement captain.
Correct.
And what qualities did you see in him that you wanted him as part of your team?
Honesty, hard work, dedication to the work. Nice guy.